Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining the latest in the IPI series of collaborative webinars. Today, we'll be looking at the adoption of cloud and the associated benefits. Then, we will dispel some of the myths about Genesys. We will be asking a number of questions, so this is truly an interactive session, so you're going to have to participate and provide some talking points for our expert panel. To begin, I am Josh Ayres from IPI, and I'll be holding your hand over the next 45 minutes. Joining me today, we have both Mickael and of Genesys and Dave Glasgow. Mickael, would you like to introduce yourself first, please?
Yeah, sure. Hello, Josh, and good morning, everyone. So my name is Mickael Lefebvre. I work for Genesys. I'm the Channel Sales Director for PureCloud, covering Europe, Middle East, and Africa. It's actually an honor for me to be here with you with IPI for this very first joint webinar. So today I will try to share with you my passion for a solution, PureCloud, and why we believe it's meaningful for you.
And Dave, can you say hello to the folks?
Yeah, sure. Again, thanks for everybody's time today. I'm Dave Glasgow. I'm the Director for Strategic Partnerships at IPI Integration. And I suppose as way of an introduction to IPI, we've been a Diamond Avaya partner for almost 30 years. That's our history and our pedigree all around the contact center. And we have an amazing customer retention rate because our customers trust us to provide expert advice. I think we go the extra mile, we have agility, and we help customers deliver their business outcomes to their customers, importantly. And I think our business has been built on a application and consulting pedigree that helps drive value in our customers and therefore longevity in our relationships. So we have many customers who have enjoyed a relationship with IPI around their contact center requirements for, as I said, almost 30 years.
Thanks, Dave. Now, we understand that many of you have made considerable investments into an on-prem or on-premise solution and will be considering how to possibly migrate to the cloud. So we'd like to start with a very simple poll. And the poll is, what is your top obstacle to overcome with cloud migration? Is it proving an ROI? Is it disruption to your customers and staff? Is it the complexity associated with integration and configuration? Is it stability, or is it the magic other? If you'd like to cast your votes now, guys, then we'll play these back to you. Poll in progress, waiting for attendees. Drum roll for the results. Interestingly, 22% of you said proving the ROI, and what's really interesting is 67% voted for the complexity associated with integration and configuration. Before I continue on, the whole ethos around this webinar today is talking about mythbusters. And what I want to do is let's look at the reasons why cloud continues to enjoy growth and why contact centers continue to embrace the benefits. I was lucky enough to speak to one of our customers at a recent event, and they come up with a quote that really resonated. And the quote was, "Customer experience is the new battleground for sustainable business growth." This was a quote that really blew me away. I mean, what this guy was saying, what this company was saying was that satisfied customers buy more and recommend more, and organizations that get customer experience right will win and retain and grow customers. Now, with this theme of customer experience is a new battleground for sustainable business growth. Mickael, would you like to comment and continue on this theme, please?
Yeah, sure, Josh. And this quote, Josh, and I'm going to repeat it again because I love it. Customer experience is a new battleground for sustainable business growth. It's a great one. And you know, if you're a retailer, for instance, if you compete, let's say, against Amazon, well, you'd better provide a great service experience to your customers if you don't want them to churn, or if you want to attract, you know, new ones and make your business sustainable. So, you know, if we look at customer experience, times are changing. And if you offer poor customer service, your customers will clearly switch to another brand. You know, it's a matter of fact. So what does it mean delivering a great customer experience today? Well, first, according to me, it's related to the customer's behavior. It means omni-channel. And if you look at, you know, many customer behavior analysis from firms such as Gartner or analyst or any other analyst, either here in the UK or globally, we can see that 97% of customers are multi-channel users, using approximately 5.6 channels on average when they interact with businesses. To me, it means that if you don't provide that kind of omni-channel capabilities, well, you're in trouble. And it's just not about delivering additional channels that would just tick boxes. You know, I think introducing new channels of interactions means that you must provide them with all the prerequisites that your customers expect. And it definitely starts with the notion of personalization of the service. It's a fundamental element of the new customer experience equation that you have to define as, you know, an element of your customer experience strategy. Last but not least, I think that artificial intelligence is clearly changing the customer service landscape. Combined with data, AI will allow us to deliver services to consumers as they expect, and sometimes even before they even ask. So data is the new oil, AI is a new pipeline, and the refinery can be only a cloud facility. And I think it has to be said loud and clear. There's no other way than cloud to deliver today the customer experience that is required to make your business sustainable. And Dave.
Yeah, thanks, Mickael. Yeah, so I suppose we're getting these messages every day in our inboxes, invitations to webinars and so forth, all about cloud and its acceleration. But there is a reason for that. And if you look at the statistics, it's growing 27% year on year. But importantly, the on-premise solutions are declining 8% year on year. So that's quite a spread. And so we firmly have a view that, you know, cloud adoption is it's no longer an option, it's a necessity. And it's there to enable, in my view, omni-channel capability. So lots of people might have multi-channel, but omni-channel has been a difficult thing to achieve. And it's a necessity when we look at the customer demographics, and, you know, that's whether that's a Gen Z through to a Snowflake, and presumably a fair number of millennials that are on this. But again, the omni-channel piece is key to allow them to communicate in the format and the method that they desire. And I may be stating the obvious, but just taking some of the drivers that are shown on that slide. So scalability and speed to value, things like proof of concepts become very easy to enable and spin up very quickly. And these are invaluable for proving the business case around these technologies. And we have, you know, the perpetual license story, the history. You know, we have had many times where a customer wants to expand and has to buy a station license, an agent license, a workforce management license, a recording license, and all of the support elements that sit around that. And that can knock them into other server or architecture requirements to mean that these costs are really significant. All of that goes away with a cloud solution. We've got flexibility, so people with seasonal demands can access licenses, pay for what they use, spin them up and spin them down, as I'm sure you're all familiar with. And then there's the future-proofing. So as customers' solutions become older and older, the cost to bring them up to date, regardless of whether there's software assurance in the mix, becomes a forklift upgrade. And it may not be the licenses that's the issue, but it may be the computing platforms and so forth that they need to reside on that becomes a very costly and expensive exercise. So future-proofing is a really key point of that, as well as the centralization and administration. So, you know, Genesys has been built from a single solution from the ground up. So there's one place to administer and there's one place to report. And that makes life considerably easier when you're not dealing with a series of modules that make up a solution in the legacy sense. And lastly, we've got things like resilience, DR, the ability to be able to use licenses at other locations. And an important one for IPI is the access to APIs. So modern APIs that give access to advanced technologies and increase capability to integrate. And that's a really important one for IPI, and it should be a really important one for customers. So, you know, in conclusion, you know, the most straightforward route towards a digital and customer experience excellence platform, you know, is via cloud. You know, why would you buy tin and perpetual licenses?
Okay, thank you, Dave. Thank you. As I'm sure you noticed from my picture on slide number 2, I don't fall into the category of a snowflake or a millennial, but that's my problem. So in summarizing so far, and my understanding so far is that cloud supports the business need to flex, to control costs, and to innovate. And this leads nicely into our first myth. And it's my first opportunity to ask and get Mickael talking about this one question. Why do people think that Genesys is complex? Mickael, over to you, my friend.
Thank you very much, Josh. Well, you know, I've worked for Genesys for more than a decade now. And, you know, it's a reality. I've heard that comment many, many times. You know, Genesys has the most complete set of capabilities in the contact center space, but Genesys is too complex. So also have sometimes, you know, Genesys is a Rolls Royce because it comes as a kit car. Well, this myth stands for Genesys legacy solutions. And actually, it's the you know, the legacy solutions is Pure Engage. It's the on-prem platform that Genesys introduced more than 20 years ago, and that, you know, Genesys has improved over time. Clearly, I think it was, whatever we call it, an exceptional platform to deliver customer experience. Anything could be done, but it definitely requires a lot of professional services if you wanted to get, you know, the full power out of it. And that's why I think people felt it was, in some cases, too complex. Today, we're not going to talk about Pure Engage. Today, we're talking Pure Cloud. Pure Cloud is the new generation platform built on the latest and most advanced cloud computing infrastructure technology that was rewritten from the first line of code and that we released to the market in early 2016. So if I had to describe Pure Cloud in a few sentences, I would say that Pure Cloud is the #1 contact center solution if you want to deliver first-line customer service powered by the most well-architected cloud technology in the easiest, most reliable, simplest, and quickest way possible. And therefore, I want to get a bit technical for a few seconds. So if we could move forward to the next slide. This is actually going to be the only time where I'll be slightly technical. Then I promise it's going to be over. So from its start, Pure Cloud was built as a multi-tenant system. So the application serves multiple tenants, and each tenant shares computing resources. That's what we call somehow the public cloud. This architecture enables easy upgrades, auto scalability, and ongoing cost saving. So PureCloud is the first contact center software to implement a true microservices architecture built on Amazon Web Services. And I think it puts us more than 2 years ahead of our competition in terms of architecture, functionality, and features. The PureCloud is designed for power, resiliency, elasticity, and agility. So many elements that Dave introduced a few minutes ago. You can get up and running quickly, scale smoothly, and experience no impact from system failure. So we provide, I think, an unprecedented level of transparency. You can see on our website system status online in real time, and no other vendor does that. So I'm going to stop here. That I do not want to get more into all the aspects of the incredible platform that PureCloud is. So if you want to hear about the robust API sets, the continuous release schedule, the features of the platform, IPI can easily organize specific meetings to discuss that with you. So I'd like to make sure to remember a very limited number of things at this stage. PureCloud is not complex but simple. Start creating seamless customer experiences with PureCloud. That's what PureCloud is about. PureCloud is powerful. So you will see the boost in business in your bottom line. And PureCloud is, in one single sentence, simply powerful, as it leverages the most advanced cloud architecture. And it translates into an incredible growth. On this slide, you can see that 3 years after the launch of PureCloud, we have 1,800 customers in production worldwide using PureCloud. So we've got, customers having 10, 20 agent contact center seats, and the largest customers has several thousand concurrent agents connected to the platform. So, please trust in the stats. We've got one customer going live every day, more than one, by the way. That would not happen if PureCloud was a complex solution. I hope it answers your question, Josh.
Thank you very much, Mickael. Thank you very much. So if I can just provide a very simple summary, from what I understand from what you just said, is PureCloud was uniquely architected as a contact center solution, which lends itself to easy upgrade and user agility. And that's as technical as I'm going to get as well, team. Just to move on, this leads nicely into our second myth. And the myth is this: a cloud solution isn't as feature rich as an on-prem solution, which leads very nicely into our second poll. And the second poll is, what functionality is missing from your current solution? Is it workforce optimization? Is it speech or data analytics? Is it omni-channel, or is it, the buzzwords of robotic process automation, agent-assisted automation, chatbots, or artificial intelligence? Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like Chris Tarrant, please cast your votes now. And the audience says, interestingly, 25. Interesting statistics there. We've got 177% of people voting, which is an interesting one. The interesting piece of data there is automation, AI, and chatbots are the area where you all currently said that is missing from your functionality. Now, I'm going to hand back to Mickael to address this second myth. Does Genesys have the same or better functionality than a legacy on-premise solution?
Yeah, thank you very much, Josh. And the result, if I may comment the results of the poll that we had a few seconds ago. I think it's interesting because it confirms the need of using cloud contact center platforms. There ain't today no possibility for any contact center to consider on-prem solutions and implement AI and chatbots. It has to be in the cloud. So that's an example of a feature that is actually delivered through the cloud and not in on-prem solutions. So I won't spend too much time on this myth because I think it's an easy one to debunk. A cloud contact center, can deliver the features you need. And I will talk specifically here about PureCloud. There were clearly times, when we released PureCloud that where PureCloud was not on par with on-prem solutions. At the very beginning, we were missing a few feature sets. And we were extremely transparent about it, and we're still very transparent today in terms of features. I actually invite you to look at all the features we've got within PureCloud. This slide that you've got on your screen right now is just an invitation for you to access our website, and you will be able to see all the documentation of any features we've got available in PureCloud. So you don't have just to believe me that we've got a great feature set. You will have a look yourself, I hope. And as you can see at the bottom of your screen, for a weekly summary of PureCloud Contact Center updates and new features, see release notes. We release every Wednesday new features, and it's available instantly to all the 1,800 customers using PureCloud. So the myth, according to me, is debunked. Cloud can give you all the features you need. And
Thanks, Mickael. It's Dave back again here. So, this slide talks about IP integration and where and how we add value, I suppose. So, I mean, it's worth reiterating that what we're saying is the suite of Genesys features is hugely comprehensive. But what we're good at doing is spotting gaps and opportunities in vendor portfolios. And we've been doing this again for many, many years. And that was a key part of our original due diligence when we were looking at Genesys as a platform to take into our portfolio. And that's a pretty critical decision for us when, our daily job is delivering contact centers to our customers. So what you see is, and the slide highlights some of our IPR that essentially enhances the Genesys offering. Many of this is around self-service, and more recently, and interestingly from that last poll, we have had a huge interest and uptake in robotic process automation. So both in the back office, where historically it's been very strong, but more recently in the front office, in the contact center, where we can help agents and assist customers at the same time. So where the legacy solutions already exist within your contact centers, we've got a really proven program from migrating these over to the Genesys platform. So we protect your investment at a minimal risk. And importantly, this extends to integrations that you may have in terms of CRM and third-party applications, which is, if we go back to that very first poll, I think was noted at 67% as one of the considerable barriers to moving to cloud. So, we ensure the integrations and the configurations of your systems are replicated, and therefore, we're removing disruption, we're removing risk, and allowing you to continue to do the business in the way that you've chosen to do for your customers. So that's where we add value.
Yeah, and Genesys is also always investing in new products for customers. And there's one interesting thing that is called the Genesys App Foundry. It's the most useful and curated collection of solutions in a single customer experience marketplace. And we've got over 200 curated, pre-built integrations. If you want to have very specific integration with very specific applications that you are using, and the complete set of APIs that we've got is actually tremendous. The largest customer we've got using Genesys worldwide is actually extensively using the APIs of PureCloud, and therefore even the login of an agent is done through the access of the Genesys PureCloud APIs. The expansions and the capabilities of what a solution is capable of is limitless.
Okay, thank you, Mickael. So just to recap, team, what we've learned so far is Genesys is not complex, it's easy. What we've learned so far is Genesys is actually feature rich. And just picking up on Dave's point, IPI delivers complementary solutions that can migrate integrations into PureCloud. Yeah, we've learned that PureCloud is feature rich, and we've also learned from Mickael that Genesys are continually innovating. So our next myth, and my second difficult question to my colleague Mickael, is there is a belief in the market that Genesys Pure Cow takes a long time to deliver. Mickael, would you like to tackle this one, please?
Yeah, sure. That's another sticky one, right? Habits and approaches can sometimes also be even more sticky or stickier. I'm not going to discuss here on-prem Genesys implementation approaches we used to have, and they were long. You could have, project that could last for 6, 12, 18 months. Again, I think it's more relevant to talk specifically about the cloud business, the cloud implementation, and specifically PureCloud. On this, I think there are many leading consulting firms or integrators such as APIs that have introduced new mindsets to deliver the best of native cloud platforms such as PureCloud to, get as soon as possible a solid return on your investment. So with PureCloud, we recommend having short iterative steps. Sometimes they could even be executed in parallel to progressively benefit from your investment and make sure that you're going to get value out of it just after a few weeks rather than, a few months or sometimes even longer. Personally, I think that you have, for every step of this approach, you have to make sure that you provide benefits that will have strong positive impacts on your operations. That be one, you should think customer journey and omni-channel. So that could be about, the introduction of a new channel that you do not have today, that will have a very positive impact on the services you deliver. And of course, you have to make sure that you offer that kind of personalized services that customers look for. The second thing is that you have to think about self-service when you define all these kind of iterative steps, because consumers look for serving themselves in most cases on your website, on your app, but they prefer actually to look for the information themselves than relying on your own resources. I think you have also to consider the process efficiency and cost optimization. If you've got the introduction of a new system that doesn't help you to reduce your cost or to maximize the efficiency of your process, you're missing something. And as well, I think even though if I come back to first ball, managing the agent the change for the agent was not a major concern. I think the change management has to be planned, and therefore I think it's an important one to consider. So if you follow this approach, I guarantee that you will have short implementation times. And I'm not trying to confuse the issue here. We clearly have examples of customers who had PureCloud running their live operation only, a dozen of days after they selected PureCloud. So at no time, and I think it's important, at no time PureCloud will slow you down when it's going to be about implementing your new customer experience platform.
And just building on that, Mickael, so we absolutely, as IP Integration, put our money where our mouth is. So all of these features and benefits that we've been talking about, we lived and breathed because we chose not to continue with our Avaya Enterprise Contact Center in the two NOC sites in Reading and Manchester. And we implemented Genesys Pure Cloud. And we have, as you'll see there, Mark Rosal is our head of managed service. He's a 6'4" South African that takes no prisoners. And his description of the changeover, if you like, was the biggest non-event we've ever experienced. So a massive credit to Genesys. Our contact centers are really important, because when our customers are making contact with us, it's because their contact centers are not functioning, and therefore it's typically critical. So, you know, the decision wasn't taken lightly. If you remember where I started, we've for nearly 30 years been a single vendor with Avaya. But, you know, the Genesys solution has provided us with greater flexibility. It's allowed us to work more effectively remotely, across other office locations, home working and so forth. And we now have a reporting suite that we can provide better management information and visibility of what's going on, so that we can react in a better way to our customers. And importantly, for the teams that work in those NOCs, they're KPI'd on customer experience and performance. And we now have a picture of how that's working, and we can mine these calls and text-based communications, so that we can ensure we're developing all the time, the staff are meeting their KPIs, and importantly, we're delivering a level of customer service that is expected from us. So it's given us a seamless migration. And we're, I think, a great example of all of those benefits and myths that we've been talking about in this webinar so far.
Thank you, Dave. And speaking as a 5'9.5" English person, I'm going to just repeat what I've just heard. PureCloud can be deployed in days rather than months, and that's really powerful. And IPI migrated ourselves in under 2 weeks, and that is fantastic. So moving on to our next myth, is Genesys expensive? And what happens to your existing investments in handsets, in third-party solutions such as workforce optimization, and what happens to your configurations and CRM integrations? Now, my next question to my colleague Mickael is Genesys expensive?
Yeah, thank you again, Josh, for your question. I love it. Another tough one. So I hope this is the very last one, because I'm not sure I'm going to be able to handle the fifth one. Seriously, well, compared to on-prem implementations, I think that native cloud solutions will always come out on top, simply because there are many hidden costs that you will have with an on-prem solution, and that you just don't have with a solution such as PureCloud. So let me explain using a few examples. With PureCloud, actually, you will not have any hardware to maintain. I think you will not have any kind of upgrade to manage. The notion of data, the notion of operating systems, the notion of security, everything is going to be handled in the cloud by specialists. And even GDPR is something that is going to be eventually smooth, because everything is managed by specialists. So if you consider all the aspects, I can tell you that PureCloud will not be expensive. PureCloud will be less expensive than your existing on-prem solutions over time. There's no doubt about it. Now, you can talk about competitors as well. We could say, hey, yeah, that's good, but what about Genesys PureCloud versus competition? Well, I think that we stack up very well on these elements. So if we can move on actually to the next slide. Unlike many others providers, we are very transparent about price, and there's no hidden cost. And we apply a policy. Would really like if we could move on to the next slides, because I don't remember precisely what's written on it. We deliver what we believe to be pricing transparency. Our own studies confirm that PureCloud is 30 to 50% cheaper than the list price of a competitive offers. I say list price because we know for sure what the list price is, and we can easily compare, because any kind of pricing related to PureCloud is currently available on our own website. And our own approach for this is we believe it should be easy to buy and consume. When we mean easy to buy, that we mean a goal is to be frictionless when it's about terms and condition and pricing discussions. So you are from the very beginning, very clear about the cost this platform is going to be with you versus the return on investment you're going to make. And we believe when it comes to cloud, we believe that every day low prices versus discounting, so it reduces significantly any kind of negotiation time in the SaaS world. And that's what we believe the new world is about: transparency and making sure that everybody knows the rule from the very beginning. It doesn't mean that we cannot have very specific discounts available, and I'm sure that Dave is going to comment on that in a few seconds. Dave.
Yeah, thanks, Mickael. I mean, so hopefully you're getting the picture that this is commercially, in terms of the licenses, the types, the consumption, the simplicity, is easy to do. And again, referencing back to that first poll, it appears the barrier and the potential complexity of the process, so physically moving you there, it is a significant issue. So, for us, it's about removing risk and helping you migrate at a pace that fits your business and your customers' demands. So we've created a program that we've been using, or a methodology almost, that we've been using for many years, where we look at migrating your existing integrations, your configurations, and also allowing you to consolidate, not only the technology, but the contracts and so forth into a straightforward master services agreement. So we're trying to deal here with the contractual terms, the commercial terms, and the operational elements to get them all aligned. And of course, this helps remove costs. And as Mickael pointed out a couple of slides ago, all of that legacy infrastructure are removed from this go forward cloud solution. And so our program would expect to involve you heavily in the process to identify savings in your existing contact center operation, largely around people, the process, and the technology. So we can come back and base a proposal, if you like, on some ROI realizations, so that you can ensure that the technology migration is going to deliver benefit to your business, and importantly, that you can justify this to your boards, exec and operating boards, in a way that is attractive to them. And I think so this is interesting, and there are two really clear points on here, I would say. So as part of this Genesys offer, there are no license fee costs for up to 12 months when you're migrating from an Avaya. So no fees for up to 12 months if you take a Genesys solution from an Avaya legacy system, no fees. The second, which is another barrier that is often problematic for customers, is that we will train at no cost your operational staff, so they can get to learn the new and intuitive technology, so they can continue to run your business, hopefully more efficiently, as we would expect. And your support teams or your engineers who can get to learn the technical elements of the system, again, at no cost to your business. So we're accommodating a no fee for licenses for up to 12 months and no fees for the technical certifications, if you like, to allow the people in your business to operationalize this and take control. So I think those are two traditional barriers that are both removed with a very unique and compelling offer.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point, Dave. And actually, many customers moved from Avaya implementations to Lowell during the last 6 to 12 months, and that's what Lowell did, a few months ago. So Lowell, got the benefit of, the the license fees for a certain period of time, 12 months, and technical certifications. Lowell Group is one of the largest financial service providers for collection management in Europe. So Lowell has been loyal to Avaya for a very long time. I don't know how many years specifically, but I would say at least 10 years. And around 2017, they made a decision to implement Avaya Oceana, their new cloud-based platform for customer service. After 12 months of Avaya Oceana rollout and frustration due to some missing functionality on the inbound, outbound dialer, Lowell asked us, Genesys, for help. So we engaged with the idea to show Lowell how Genesys Pure Cloud could fulfill their requirements, help them driving their business to a next level and increase their collection revenues. So based on the ideas of a quick win with Genesys, we positioned Pure Cloud for a proof of concept. And after successful pre-sales workshops and a quick implementation of a Pure Cloud org for a sort of a trial with the first department with 20 agents testing Pure Cloud in the live pilot in February 2019, we had great results and a very strong satisfaction. So the outcome of the pilot was pretty much simple. We showed that positively to Lowell's management, and the proof of concept confirmed that the added value Genesys Pure Cloud brought to Lowell in combination with a short go live timeline. So they moved to Pure Cloud over the summer, and the statement from Lowell was as simple as that. Genesys was able to show more value with Pure Cloud in 9 weeks as Avaya did with Oceana in 12 months of time. So I think this success story is a great proof of the efficiency of Pure Cloud when it comes to customer experience.
Okay, thank you, Mickael. Thank you, Mickael. I'm going to restate my last question and answer it myself. The question was, the myth was, is Genesys expensive? And the short answer is no. Sorry to be so direct, but it isn't. So, we've established there's both transparency in the pricing and a significant cost and value benefit to procuring and deploying Pure Cloud, which leads nicely onto our final poll question of today. And the question is this: what is your top reason for moving to the cloud? Is it to simplify the contact center management? Is it to gain a much better total cost of ownership? Is to scale up or down or flex as capacity needs change? Or is it finally the future proof? I'm going to ignore rather. So we've got simplify the contact center, better total cost of ownership, ability to flex, or ability to future proof. Can you please vote now? Wow, so our results, which equal 100, 11% said simplify the contact center management, 11% said scale up and down, and interestingly, 78% of you said access to new innovations and to future proof. Thank you for that. Mickael, would you like to just provide a summary of what we've covered so far? Mickael, are you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was on mute. If you look at your screen right now, why businesses choose Pure Cloud, the elements you've got here, it's not the reasons given by IPI or Genesys. They are the real reasons that organizations shared with us when they decided actually to migrate to Pure Cloud. So we surveyed customers, and here are their top observations that you've got on the screen. Mature cloud infrastructure available to you when you're ready to make the move away from a premise-based contact center. I think it's about the maturity of the contact center platform, but it's also about your own when it comes to thinking about the new features you could have in the market. I think it's about as well the continued evolution of products and capabilities. especially when customers are able to interact using the latest channel. And when they do make contact, the interactions are routed as efficiently as possible. I think the notion of operational efficiency is a key one, especially if you consider having one single solution from a single vendor. So again, you were mentioning the notion of chatbot and AI. You have to have this, you have to have these capabilities integrated into your contact center solution to make it efficient, and it cannot be through an on-prem solution, but it has to be a cloud platform. I think agents as well are an important one. They're able to reduce customer frustration because they can see the customer journey and context through an omni-channel desktop, part of PureCloud. The notion of customer experience overall is improved because the way we route reduces the number of transfers and call flows. And I think, leveraging a single omni-channel solution across the contact center means that, and Dave mentioned that for their own implementation of PureCloud, it means that my reporting is unified across the contact center. So these are interesting elements that are examples of reasons why businesses have decided to move to PureCloud. And I think, not all of them, because you cannot have 100% of satisfaction, but a huge majority of them, and most of them, actually, most of the customers that I've discussed to, are extremely happy with that move.
Thank you, Mickael. Thank you. Very comprehensive. So I'd like to wrap up by saying thank you to my two co-hosts, Dave and Mickael. And I'd just like to provide a very high-level summary. We've learned today that cloud represents the future of the contact center. We've dispelled the myth that Genesys is complex. We've tackled the myth that Genesys is expensive. We've demonstrated the ease of deployment and come up with figures of under 2 weeks to successfully deploy a contact center. We've illustrated IPI's pedigree in deploying Genesys, but also providing that ROI consultative approach to helping you migrate from on-prem to cloud. And then finally, we've come up with this compelling offer, which Dave talked at, where there will be no costs associated with Genesys in the first 12 months if you're migrating across from a legacy Avaya on-prem solution to Genesys Pure Cloud. I would like to thank you for your participation today. I would like to thank you for your interaction on voting. I'd like to throw some questions out to the team. Any questions, folks?
So I can see there's one up there already, Josh, which is, can you have a blend of voice and omnichannel agents in the same instance? So absolutely. So, I think as Mickael talked about, there are 3 license profiles in the Genesys Pure Cloud solution. They support varying levels of contact center functionality, but voice is part of omnichannel essentially as one of the media. So the answer is yes. If anyone would like to put those questions through the dialog box on the right hand side of your screen, then please do.
I can't see the questions from my end.
Okay, sorry, Josh. Well, we've had another, which is about, can I migrate Verent to Genesys? It's an interesting one because the Verent portfolio of workforce optimization is essentially an Avaya OEM relationship. So the workforce optimization suite, workforce management, quality management, speech, etc., real-time speech, automated quality are all part of that Avaya OEM relationship. So the PureBridge offer, this offer of 12 months of up to 12 months free licenses, applies to a supported Avaya contact center. So in essence, the answer is yes. If it's an Avaya contact center migration, then absolutely we can help you with that migration in terms of free licenses for up to 12 months and the training that is built all around that for some obviously quite complex applications. We've had another question, which is about where can I find pricing? So as Mickael talked about earlier on in the session, Genesys are wholly transparent, and they're transparent in terms of the functionality. One of the slides that shows all of the features and functionality for each type of those 3 licenses. There's transparency in terms of the global platform uptime by region, in terms of its reliability. And there's also transparency in terms of the licenses and those license types and those license prices, which can all be found on the Genesys portal.
Any more questions, Dave, or is that a wrap?
No, there's one more. And maybe this is one for Mickael about what are the options for SIP trunks in PureCloud?
Interesting. So we've got actually 3 different options. You can have what we call bring your own carrier on-prem. So it means that you've got SIM trunking on your website, on your physical site, and we install a very little piece of hardware to connect with your existing SIM trunking provider to PureCloud. The second option is bring your own carrier in the cloud. So you do very much the same. You can keep your existing provider, but you connect it directly to Amazon. So it means no installation on site. And we've got PureCloud Voice, which is our own technology to provide voice to you. So existing SIM trunks can be connected to PureCloud with 2 different options. And we can bring, you could bring any kind of third-party SIM trunking provider. So we've got a few examples in many different countries, in the UK, in Germany, in Spain, where customers were, wanting to keep the existing SIP trunking providers. So we've got the 3 options. Basically, that's one of the differentiators as well of PureCloud. We don't limit you. It's not just the public internet voice. You can have that, but you have all the options you want to integrate PureCloud with your existing telecommunication network. I think it answers the question.
Yep, we've got another one in terms of from Neil actually about what regions are PureCloud Voice available in?
So PureCloud Voice is not available in every country. If I talk about the UK and Ireland, it's definitely available. It's available in the largest countries across EMEA, in Asia, or in America. I don't have myself a good understanding of the whole list, but the whole list is available on the website.
Great, okay. And we have another question, which is from a customer that are using our IP Integration IPR applications across a number of applications. And the question was about, would they have to spend time replacing them, if you like, repeating that whole process? And the answer to that is no. So in the same way Avaya have a Dev Connect program for external application developers, Genesys have exactly the same. It's called the App Foundry, and our applications are forming part of that App Foundry. So no, you won't have to replace them. It'll be minimal impact.
Any more questions, Dave?
Nope, I think that was the last one.
Guys, it's now 5 minutes to 11. I'd like to thank you for your time in participating today. We hope you found this useful, and once again, I'd like to thank Dave and Mickael for their interesting insights. Thank you very much and have a great day.